What's up, y'all? Welcome to Three Brothers and a Shot of Milk presents Two Cousins Talking Batman. Every Saturday morning, we got a bowl of cereal and we go into Batman the Animated Series. We're on the first season right now. We do a deep dive commentary, basically just fanning out over each episode. Last week, we did Two-Face Part 1, and this week, we got Two-Face Part
Part two.
2. What we got, Chris?
We got Two-Face Part 2. So let me
There it
give you guys
is.
a little background. Air date September 28th, 1992. In sequence, the previous episode was Two-Face Part 1. After this is Fear of Victory, that Scarecrow episode. Directed by Kevin Altieri, written by Randy Rogel, and then the music by Shirley Walker. And
Shirley
then I
Walker.
will give you the brief synopsis. The synopsis was too long, so I'll just spitball it and kind of like. Now we at part one was Harvey Dent. Part two is Two Face. So
Ooh.
now we have Two Face. He's taking his revenge on Rupert Thorne. Here's my question. I'm gonna jump into the story just a little bit. Why does Rupert Thorne have so many two themed businesses that Two Face has to hit?
Like it's almost like two. Like he's Two-Face. Like this is easy.
This is
This
this
is
was made
easy.
this was made for me.
Yeah.
So Two Face is hitting him. Batman is struggling because he wants to save his friend, and we got
Mhm.
to see what happens.
Dude. Yeah, let's just go. Let's start from the beginning. I do have a lot of thoughts about this episode, especially as it's connected. I thought part one was so good and so cinematic and so dramatic, and there's leaps you have to take because eventually you got to get the Two-Face. He has to have a suit that's two color. Like it gets a little campy here.
All
Let's
right,
get into
here we go.
it.
So we have the same title card, except instead of part one, it's part two.
Part two. On some Godfather. It was like the Godfather.
So they said there was some. Give it a second while it loads. They took stuff from Dog Day Afternoon. They took lines from a lot of so in the beginning of the episode, Two Face tells everyone for the next 5 minutes I'm in control. When they walk into the
The
gambling house
Yeah.
and shoots, that's this line was spoken by Al Pacino in Dog Day Afternoon.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. So that's kind of cool.
Wow. All
Um,
right.
come on, man.
Did I send you a good link?
Let me see.
Bear with us, folks. Technology.
Technology is technology. Okay, here
Technology.
we go.
Okay.
Okay, let me share again as it goes. Okay, I'm just gonna jump it in as we're going.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's where we have now. Here's where okay. Now I gotta pause it. This is where we first see the coin.
Yeah.
Everything is up to chance. We see the good head, bad head coin, and then Two Face goes in. This is right before what we spoke about how they're gonna go and start robbing Thorne's place.
Right. Right.
And it's funny, his henchmen are obviously two twins, a pair of twins.
So it's like for me, that part one was so dramatic. It dealt with mental health.
Yep.
It wasn't a matter of chance. It was a matter of like multiple personality disorder.
Right.
And then we get into part two and twin henchmen,
It's
and
very 66 Batman.
it really, but it's almost jarring for me to the part one and part two. Like part one didn't have any camp.
No,
There
no
was
camp at
no
all.
camp.
No, because you're dealing with the mafia, you're dealing with Rupert Thorne. There's actually very little Batman. So it's really just a story of the mob trying to blackmail a public official.
And then part two is it kind of leaps a little bit for
Yeah,
me.
it does. So I gave it that kind of leeway because this is the cartoon, right? So
Yeah.
we're introducing him as a villain. So I see what you're saying. I wasn't taken aback as you were because I expected it to be like that because it has to fall into this
Right.
cartoon universe, right?
Right. Yeah, you're right. I guess I would have never questioned it. Now, of course, I've seen this already. I'm
Yeah.
watching it with new eyes. I would have never expected it to be if they didn't give me the part one the way they did.
I get that because the tone was so adult. It's funny you say that because I'm gonna go back to I'm gonna go back to my notes real quick. So the writers felt that with this episode, the series took an adult turn.
Mm-hmm.
So it's funny that this was the notes because when I'm looking at the notes in the fandom and in IMDb and stuff like that, this was a note specifically for this episode where I feel like the adult turn really happened in episode 1.
Absolutely.
But they said this was where it took an adult turn. I don't
We'll
necessarily
see.
agree with
I
that.
mean, I would say you're blackmailing a public official whose mental health is deteriorating, and you literally blow him half up.
You do.
That's very adult. There was
That
like
is very.
no, um, but yeah. So Two Face is here. He's flipping the coin, which is also very interesting.
Yeah,
It's 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 very different than part one.
it is very different. But I think they have to do that because part 1 you didn't have a super villain. Now you do
But I guess my question is, why is he a supervillain instead of
because
just this violent madman who wants
because
revenge?
his face is blown half off.
Big Bad. This I don't see Big Bad Harv here.
Well, Big Bad Harv doesn't exist anymore. It's Two Face. This is where we see him in the costume, done up, but he's officially Two Face.
But why? Like,
And
why is
because
he a gangster now?
so okay, let me time out. So this scene is him hitting Rupert Thorne. So he's going after revenge. So the motive makes sense, right? So
Right.
he's like, look, you did this to me. You blew up half of me. You ruined my career. You ruined my life. Now I'm gonna go after you.
But why is a gangster? Why is a suited up gangster with henchmen in suits? Like why that choice?
Because he's smart. He's a leader. He was the district attorney. So he's not just a regular thug. So his jump from DA as an elected official as a politician, it makes sense for him to become like a mob leader because
Yeah.
he's calling shots.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're right. It's just leaps have to be taken between
They
part
do
one
have to
and
be
two.
taken. So, look, we give this series so much credit, but you do have to understand, you do have to take in consideration this is a children's show.
I know, and that problem. Part one wasn't. That's the problem. In
That's the
part one,
problem.
I'm like,
They
like
they go ahead.
no, saying almost got him. It's beautiful, wonderful camp. You know it going in, and it's also masterful twists and turns. Here, part one was like, oh, this is just a crime drama,
Right.
and then part two is like, oh yeah, it's also a kids show too, which is great. I don't, listen, I don't call baby flag, not red flags, baby flags, but
I,
I
I,
will say when we get to the Bat Cave, they do make a point to say, or is it with Rupert Thorne, that it's been 6 months since part
mm,
one, so there has been time for him to
build a group, build a crew,
build his
get a
persona,
custom tailored suit.
get a custom tailored suit. Yeah, so this isn't the next day, so I guess that gives him some space.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Um, and these freaking goons who are down to be just verbally and physically abused by
Abused by Two
this
Face.
guy.
So this is when they ask, I want to take the jewelry. They're looking to rob people.
Yeah, they
And
see
she
that
flips
ring.
for it. And he's like, we're not taking the jewelry. Leave the jewelry.
Ooh, what,
What?
boss? Raw. He like backhands them,
Yep.
and they run out.
He's just abusive.
It's like, and these guys probably would have killed him 6 months ago as Harvey Dent, easy.
Yep.
And then
So here's the key. Here's where Rupert Thorne is feeling the heat. So this has very much similarities to The Dark Knight
yeah,
because the Joker was robbing all the bad guys, and then they ended up bringing him in. So it's The Dark Knight starts out with the Joker robbing a mob bank,
yeah.
and it was who was and then we see them all come together and kind of ask for help.
He crashes their meeting.
He crashes their meeting. I see a lot of inspiration from this episode because Rupert Thorne is getting hit. And then he's like, what do we do? How do we take this guy out when he's hitting our spots?
And I guess my question, and it is a kids show, but my question is like, why is Harvey hard to get? Why is it hard to put a bullet in his head? Like, how is he that evasive? How is he that hidden? I would like to see a little bit more. Well, I guess it's left for us to assume and fill in the blanks. But it's not
So
like he's just running through the front door.
so yeah, and here's the thing. If he's hitting everything that's two theme, if I have a Gemini club, which was one of them, and like the Deuce was another one. So if I have a thing that's a two theme, I just put extra guys on.
Well, he didn't have any guys. Like if you even if it's not two themed, if your spot's been getting hit for 6 months, then you probably got guys all everywhere you're running, and like Harvey can't just walk through the front door with twins.
Yeah, he's not like, so remember in the Red Hood, like he's like strategic in the way he takes people down and stuff like that.
Yes,
Two Face
yes.
you're right. Two Face is not doing that. He's rolling
He's
like John Dillinger,
just
like
walking through the front door.
fucking like run it.
How do we stop him? Let's get
Lock
some
the
guys
door.
at the front door. Suspend our disbelief.
Yes. All right. So Rupert Thorne is like, we gotta do something. And she's
Yes.
like, I have a plan, Rupee, or whatever.
Yo, every criminal mastermind needs a lady in red.
Yep.
She saves this whole freaking, she's dope.
Yeah, she
Now,
is dope.
in Heart, we have this dream. And at first I was like, oh, Harvey's dreaming of being Harvey, right? And I'm like, wait, no, this isn't his
No,
dream.
it's not his dream. It's So we see Batman's conflicted. So we saw how much Batman really loves and cares for Harvey in the
Mm-hmm.
first one, and it's wreaking havoc on his psyche that he feels like he's required to save. He has to save Two Face. And look,
Yeah.
so this is something rare we see. So I know this is a transition, but you see how that expression on Batman's face, we see that on Bruce, but very rarely do we see like that concern or that like
Yeah.
expression as Batman. He's usually very
Yeah.
stoic as Batman. And it comes down to saving his parents, and then that guilt from his parents dying carries over into the loss of his friend as Harvey Dent.
And like, if you were to fill in the blanks here, crime didn't stop for 6 months.
No.
So he's still having to put away jewelry robbers. He's still probably going toe to toe with the Joker. He's still doing the Batman thing, but he's also doing it with this weight on him, this depression on him. Because 6 months, it wasn't just I'm going after Two Face. Like, Gotham is still Gotham,
Right.
and I love filling in that blank of Harvey's on his mind as he still has to do his job.
Right.
Man,
Right.
oh Bruce,
Ugh, he's emotionally fragile, man. As strong as he is,
very
right?
more than I remember as a kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll find you, Harvey.
Oh,
I'll bring you back.
Man, he looks like a jerk in that picture. Here's this girl crying for him.
Oh man,
She still loves him. She don't care. And then these guys.
this is where the episode hits for me. Even though it goes campy, it still grounds it in that emotion that was in part one. That's
Right.
where it really works. And yo, this woman is a criminal mastermind. She's amazing.
She
A
is.
must on your team if you're a criminal.
She's like, here's this beeper. If he comes and finds you, let us know. We can help him. We're afraid Rupert Thorne is gonna come hurt him when they are Rupert Thorne, which is that's smart, right?
I mean, it's brilliant. And I want to talk about this piece of technology right here. This is what's so amazing about this show, because it doesn't have a place in our world anywhere. So that's what
Right.
makes it timeless. It's not like she pulled out a 90s beeper and we're like, oh, this is from the 90s. It still looks like I don't know what time period this is.
So it's funny you say it, because everything here is like advanced nostalgic technology, right? Even the Batcave, like it can calculate anything, but it prints out on like a dot matrix printer.
Right. But that makes it timeless. It makes it
Right.
like outside of time.
All the TVs are black and white. So it's this weird, it's like this weird alternate universe where it's the 40s, but it's the future. It's just cool. And it just works.
Like, this is a highly sophisticated device, but it still looks like an old radio.
Right.
But it's very sophisticated. I'm not sure what it is. Is it a phone?
It's a beeper, but with buttons.
I don't know what it is. It's amazing though.
But it works. Look at her, like
she's wearing like that Bruce Wayne suit, that brown suit.
Yeah.
And here he goes. I'm not gonna call him a simp, but
Yes.
just get it together, bro.
Oh man, so he's
Either be a
back.
bad guy or not.
Yep. Okay. Can I talk about this? Did you take the shot where they show? Yes.
Oh, there we
This is
go.
the shot I was hoping you'd include. And when I was watching, so I watched this a couple days ago, and I actually texted you this. Why
Oh
does he?
shoot!
Why does he? Why does he have a credit card that says Two
Oh
Face?
yes, you did
Six
text me
six
that.
six Two Face. So you're telling me that he changed his name, got a new social, and then applied for credit?
That's the writers and animators just having fun with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or it's like too factual bank, too factual. It's you don't know what the rest of it says.
I guess.
Yeah. Where'd he get that suit, Chris? That's what I'm talking about.
I mean, he could, he went to that custom. He went to the mob tailors.
They, oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yep. So they're talking about splitting the loot, and Two Face is too busy looking at his
Man,
picture. He flips for it, or whether he should go see her or not. This time it came up no, so he
what
didn't.
I love about the henchmen, although they're campy, it's never normal for them that this guy has to flip a coin to make a choice. They're
No,
always like, "What?"
just go. You
And
miss her, just go.
I
Two Face.
love that. I love that his henchmen don't just comply to the ridiculousness of his condition.
It kind of grounds it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And you know what I like about the coin too is we see it kind of in the climax, but the coin isn't. It's not as campy. The coin is an emotional crutch for him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So he'll want to do something, but he says he leaves everything up to chance, and
Yeah.
that's just his mind. So it's not like I'm flipping it, and yeah, it's a little campy, but when you look into it and look how he reacts to the coin, especially in the end, you see that the coin is really an extension of his mental illness.
Yeah. And if this were like a HBO series or just really adult, I would probably pick at the fact that they didn't make a choice for me. Because in the part one, it's a multiple personality. It's like two personalities trying to occupy the same body. Who gets to be in charge here? So
Right,
it wasn't about chance or let destiny decide. It was like who's in charge of this body. In part two, it's not really about who's in charge, it's about chance. And I'm like, those are two separate things. And I wish because we didn't really get so much chance in the part one. So for me, it's either we flip a coin to decide which side of me gets to choose, or everything is up to chance. Those are just two different thoughts and
right.
ideologies. And I feel like they could have merged those better. It's almost like he has a completely different affliction in part two than he did in
So,
part one.
so yeah, it's funny. So the way I interpret it was because he's not repressing Big Bad Harv anymore. Big Bad Harv comes out as, but you know what though? That's kind of funny because if if he's releasing that side of him, shouldn't he just be Big Bad Harv?
Why does he have to flip a coin?
Right. Because so the whole basis beyond the twos and Two Face is that he's battling back and forth between one side and the other. But as Two Face, he's really Big Bad Harv as Two Face. So there's no real dichotomy in his personality. He's the epitome of what Big Bad Harv was.
And they could have kept, and maybe they didn't want to because they were like, after these two episodes, Two Face is a villain. We no longer want to deal with a guy with mental health to that degree. But in reality, you're flipping the coin because you are still split in half.
So it does come back later in the series when they have the episode where he becomes like that judge. Remember?
Vaguely,
So
vaguely.
there's a thing where there's this new vigilante that shows up and is going after villains, and then long story short, it ends up being Two Face, and
Mm-hmm.
he's trying to play the other side, but play the other side as kind of like how like him to like Azrael, like where he takes
Mm-hmm.
like outlaw justice on these guys. So it'd be interesting once we get to that where we'll kind of call back to these episodes and
Yeah.
kind of see how maybe the other side is what kind of kind of like
Yeah.
comes
I
out.
just don't know why, based off of part one, why he has to flip a coin. I don't know what
I,
that need is.
I just think it's just an extension of his mental illness. The way I read it is just an extension of his mental illness. That's what it
Then,
is. You
then I
know,
guess
it's
I was looking for that in part one.
mm,
Watching Harvey have to make a decision and go, let's just flip forward. Like we didn't
yeah.
get that.
We didn't get any kind of allusion to the fact that he leaves things up to chance. You're right. You're
No,
right. No, we
that
didn't get.
that's my that's
Yeah,
my leap. Was like, you guys could have connected that if you wanted to, but
yeah.
but it's a children's show, so.
It is a children's show. It is. We're asking a lot of a children's show.
Like that part one gave us a lot, man.
It did. It set us up. That's true. It did set us up with a lot. It did. It
Mm-hmm.
did.
So
So we have
he's
Batman in the cave.
Alfred.
I forgot what he was saying here. To be honest with you. Oh,
Uh,
let me ask you. Wait. Time out. Big old time out here. So so we didn't see it in our clips, but the first interaction, Two Face actually bests Batman in combat, and we assume that
yeah, yeah.
he breaks his rib. The way,
Well, that didn't happen yet. Did that happen yet? Did that happen
yeah,
yet?
it happened already.
Did that happen already?
Yeah, it
Oh,
happened
it
already.
did. Oh shoot.
Because remember the
Yes.
security guard found him. He's like, Batman, like you're all right.
Yes. Batman. I want to say something. Yeah, Batman got dropped.
Okay. Number one, it's raining. Why are you riding a motorcycle?
Yes.
Number two, you're injured. Why are you riding a motorcycle?
I
Number
thought that.
three, why are you riding a motorcycle for? What?
I was like, what was the choice? I was like, I wonder what made him take the motorcycle out today.
I don't know, but look, I've been caught in the rain on a motorcycle, and it sucks. It's cold, the rain hurts, and you have to be super careful that you don't crash. So
Maybe it's
not
more
the
stealth. Maybe it's less.
stuff. I don't know.
Maybe he
Motorcycle's
needs to
loud,
get.
and you're not riding in incognito motorcycle. You're riding the bat cycle.
They're like, we got to sell these toys, Chris.
I guess so. I guess so.
But yeah, so yes, Batman. This Batman, I don't care what you say. This is not the same Batman in Justice League.
No, it's not.
He
No,
got
it's
hit
not.
in the head with a lamp. He got kicked. No, wait. Yes, he got kicked and he got his ribs bruised
Yep.
by two twins
Right.
and Two Face.
Yep. He got yoked. He got his butt kicked.
And then plays the injury for the rest of the episode, which is great. This is my Batman. Yeah, but
He's human, right?
he's
human.
very human.
Yep.
And his love for Harvey is his weakness.
Yeah. So maybe he's pulling punches because it's Harvey. He doesn't want to hurt. Because he does say, Harvey, I don't want to hurt you, or something along those lines.
Oh, anybody else, they would have got a fist to the face. There wouldn't have been
They got
conversation.
that no look hit.
Bam.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. So now we have Harvey at lawyer. Okay. So the lawyer's name is Doubleday.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah. The lawyer's name is Doubleday.
They're having
So
fun.
why are these files floating around? So they're tearing up this mob lawyer's office. They find Rupert Murdoch's file that has his accounts. Okay, first of all, this is a dope shot. This is clearly a painted cell.
It really is. I'm like, this is very different. It looks like Merry Melodies. Like, remember those old Looney Tunes when they would like go close into their face and
then only his eyes. So it's funny because only his eyes are so this is probably a fixed background and only his eyes are animated because actually you see his eyes move. So they probably just animated over the cell and just had his eyes were the ones that are actually changed.
What made them make that choice? I wonder. It's great.
It's a weird choice. So when they did it in the first episode where you actually see the first vision of Two-Face, which makes sense, right? Because it's kind of it could be dramatic and cinematic to show it as like a painted cell. I guess here it's a weird creative choice for me.
It looks dope though.
It doesn't go. It does. Maybe that's why. Just because it looks cool.
It looks cool.
Yeah.
And then he has what he needs, and then no, yeah. So this is what he didn't get his ribs hurt yet. This is it.
Okay. So then I take it back. But it's still raining, so it's still. Oh, he does drive it again later though. So maybe it's not.
No, he just says I'm sticking with his motorcycle. I made a choice. I'm gonna stick to it. He's like, Harvey, please.
Harvey, please. I'm your friend, Harvey. He almost gives up his identity, like.
Yeah, because in this iteration, Batman and Harvey Dent do not have a relationship.
Right.
It's not like DA and Batman are cool. It's like, no. He's like, why do you care?
Right.
He had to bring up his lady, and then he's running, just running like a regular run, and then he just get off me. Ah! I'm like, Batman, this isn't an athlete.
Okay, so this is where so we jumped ahead. We talked about it. So I was wrong. I
Yeah.
jumped a little bit ahead, but he still gets his butt handed to him.
Like light work, easy work.
Yep. And
Um,
this old man is so sweet. He's like, "You're okay, son." Oh, my ribs. Oh,
that's why you don't
and
wear
then
spandex.
and
Get
then
some
and then
Kevlar.
he rips his suit, his custom suit, and then he has
The-
it's always in this series. There's so many matchbooks that tell Batman where the bad guys are. Bad guys, stop carrying matchbooks from where
Stop
your hideout
carrying
is.
matchbooks. How do you find me? Well, I had a matchbook with our address on it.
Oh
It
man,
just
it's like this is our hideout. What's the first thing we should do? Let's make custom matchbooks for our hideout.
that's the camp, and it works. It
It works.
works. It's just that part one didn't have any of it, so
Right,
it's a little jarring.
right.
Um, and then yeah, he's just a sim. And I don't mean that like guys. You can love your women. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you made a choice of a life of crime.
Right.
You made a choice.
You bring her in on the life of crime. She may be down for it. Don't just sit there and be sad. Do something
Don't
about it.
just do something about
Don't
it
just talk
and
about it. Be about it.
be about it,
Right. So he's having
man.
a vision of what could have been, except his face got. First of all, let me tell you something. You didn't have to become Two Face. You could just he would have been with you
No,
even if your face was blown off.
no, like there's so many other options that were available to you before you didn't have to become a criminal mastermind.
But this is the choice you made.
And
Bring it
and
in.
that's my leap, Chris. That's my leap. That's the hard leap I'm making when I watch part one and don't think of it as a children's show. Is I see how you're disfigured and you're going after Rupert Thorne for revenge. I don't understand you becoming a criminal mastermind. That's the leap. I get that you want to go in there and take all his stuff and gasoline it, burn it all to the ground, and then finally get this guy and shoot him in the head. I don't get why you're just a criminal now. And I know he needs to be for the next episodes of how he's going to be in the series, but in reality, he'd be closer to like I'm trying to think. He'd be closer to like, if anything, he'd be close to like the way the Joker is in the Dark Knight. Anarchy for everybody. Then
Right. It's true. It's true. It's
you
true.
know. Um, but anyways, he chooses a life of crime, and now he's like, I wonder what would have been like if I just didn't.
Right.
What could have been?
What could have been?
Uh, in the
Oh,
past,
Richard Ball doing a great job.
for real. And then flip the coin.
And then he's like, the coin flipped, and he could see his girl.
Dude, I can't tell you how many dudes got caught by the cops when they're fleeing because they went back to their girl's house.
Yep.
That actually happens a lot.
Yep. Come on, man. You gotta save your buttercup. I love you, baby.
Man. But she's not down for you. Because what
Nope.
she finna do? She finna take out that, I don't know what it is, that beeper.
But she does because she thinks she's doing the right thing for him. She thinks she's saving him from Rupert Thorne. She should have told him instead of just pressed it. But
Yeah. And like, yo, maybe she's not from Gotham.
maybe.
maybe
She
maybe
seems very
she's
naive, very sweet, and very naive. And I don't think she does it
very sweet.
maliciously. She does it to help him.
No. She does it to help him, but
Yeah.
I expect more from the fiance of a DA in Gotham freaking city. You gotta be a little bit more
More street smart.
I think so.
She presses it. Rupert
And
Thorne
my
is
dude right there with the flat top.
yeah, she's
I
back.
love that guy.
Continuity. And then she's like, I got it, Rupee. I think I just saved you.
She's the best.
She's the one
She's the best.
she's the one who fixes everything.
In the rain.
Yep. So she goes, they bring and I like that they're so courteous to her. The twins are like, here you go, ma'am. Like
They better be. They
yeah.
better be. I like that. I like that hood.
Yes.
Oh, it's so dope.
Yes. What's her name? Grace, I think.
Grace. And I love that he put the hood as white. It's almost like I'm putting on my Harvey side over this Two-Face side.
Yep. And she's like, I'm sorry I react the way I did. You don't need this. Shh, let me take this off for you.
I'm like,
I love you even though you're like this.
Baby, It ain't nothing. Oh, hey, hello, Harvey. So freaking pompous and arrogant.
He is. And then he's like,
She's
your
like,
girl,
oh.
your girl led us to you. And then he pushes away like,
Ah. Yeah, you got caught out there, Harvey.
yep.
But in
Yeah,
reality, they would have found a way to the cops, and they would have all found a way to use your girl to get you. Like this,
absolutely.
like you should have expected this.
Yep.
Yeah. And then here you go, motorcycle in the rain.
Motorcycle in the rain with an injury. This is the problem I had. Oh man,
Oh,
maybe
it's
it's
like
the same night. I think so. Maybe that's why he's still out. That's why he didn't bring the motorcycle back. Okay,
it's
I'll
fair.
give that. So then he's like, I need the file. I need the file. So Two Face gives him the file. Oh, real quick, he explains before she comes. He explains to his girl with that roulette table about how everything is chance now. That's how he deals with everything. Everything is
Yeah.
chance. So
I don't know why. Now, it's a children's show,
okay.
but I don't see why Rupert Thorne doesn't just shoot him in the head.
Yeah, you're there. He freaking dropped. He destroyed so many bitches. Why don't you just go and start going fucking shots?
Forget the file. The file is inconsequential.
But
Kill him.
maybe he wants to secure the file first, and then he should just. But then once he had the file, they should just kill them right there on the spot.
Kill him.
Too much monologuing, don't you know?
But
That's the
he's also
downfall.
very arrogant, though.
He's
He's also
extremely arrogant.
he likes to be seen.
He like yes, he is. He is.
Oh no, that's all there.
Oh, now here's your boy Flat Top.
Always ready. Flat
Oh,
Top's always ready. I love
he-
Flat Top. And then
yep.
Batman's like, whoop,
Whoop.
rope around your torso.
Yep. Here comes Batman showing
Man,
up.
you don't even shut off the lights, no smoke bomb or nothing. You just gonna
Nothing. He
walk through
just
the front
shows
door
up.
with a rib injury.
And we have this kind of weird scene where they're almost fighting together, right?
Which is similar to how it was before Two-Face got blown apart. They were
Yep.
kind of like, yeah, and they are fighting against each other. And Batman still almost gets the drop, and that's why she's the best, Chris, because she's like, I'm getting the fight too.
Yep. And then
And
this
then,
chick, you tell me this. So this chick here is gangster.
yes,
This chick is mad naive. And you tell me, I know our girl in red has thrown hands before.
oh yeah,
This
she
chick has
fights
never
dudes. She fights dudes. The girl
right.
in red,
This
but
chick
I
has never
think,
been
but she got the drop on her because she brought up that vase to hit Harvey. So I think
right.
she wasn't even checking for her. That's where her weakness. She underestimated.
Sweetness.
She's still from. They're still from Gotham.
She still got that Gotham in her. That
Still
Gotham
from
City.
Gotham,
There's
no
that
matter
Gotham
what.
City.
The
You can take the
most
chick out of
naive.
Gotham, but you can't take the Gotham out of the chick.
Nope. Hey, she's naive. She's sweet, but she's still from Gotham City.
Facts.
Careful. Tosses her, and Batman's like, okay.
Oh, he's still hurt. Yeah.
He's like, all right. This is escalated. And here we got Two-Face. Oh, please don't. Like,
Please, I'm surprised he hesitated here, or he did.
he does
Oh, he was
because he
about
got
to
to
flip the
flip.
book. Oh. And then
He's
she's
gotta
helping
flip.
Batman. He's like, it's up to chance and blah
It's up
blah
to
blah.
chance.
Yep.
And he flips it.
And then hold on, let me get to the part, and I'm gonna pause it right at the part. Okay, so there's all these coins here. Batman hits the coins and he freaks out. So this
Breaks his whole psyche.
so the part where he throws multiple coins, they copied it in Batman Forever when Tommy Lee Jones was playing Two-Face.
Yeah. Yeah, except like Batman had coins in his belt, so it was like it was premeditated.
Yeah,
Like, I'm gonna
he had
destroy
change
your
first.
psyche. Yeah, change first. He threw up.
So Two-Face is freaking out. No, my coin. So this is the scene that I was talking about earlier. This is the scene that actually shows that the coin is not just a campy thing. The coin is really a device of his mental illness.
Yes.
So Batman is getting helped out by our innocent girl. Two-Face is crying because he can't find his coin.
Dude. And I wished it linked back to the multiple personality because that would work. That's like
This should have brought this.
which
this
one of
scene
us is going to one of us like the coin decides which one takes the wheel, and without the
Right.
coin, it's
should-
anarchy.
right.
Panic
It's true.
attack.
I would like
bring
to
the
see-
sweat back. Bring that
Exactly.
sweat back.
I would have liked to see the sweat come back and Harvey come out when he's like forehead to forehead with his girl.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess they're kind of doing that here with the tear
Yeah.
showing that side.
So then they're all getting arrested. Two-Face is arrested. She's still by his side though.
But like he's going away, but he didn't kill anybody. His
No, he just
crimes.
robbed. He just he I don't know. There's probably a loophole he could kind of.
It's Gotham.
It's Gotham.
He would probably go. He probably would just go to a mental health. Oh, he's going to Arkham.
He is going to mental.
That's the problem.
This guy in a white coat. So here's Batman. We know Batman grabbed the actual coin out of the sky or did something, and he has it, and he throws it in the well and wishes him good luck.
And it lands on
the good side up.
Hope for Harvey. It's a good episode, man. And like I said, I only have baby flags, because part 1 was so not campy and so not a children's cartoon.
Yeah.
At all. But it's dope. I feel like a lot of what's great about these 2 episodes kind of gets thrown away later. I don't think we see Grace again.
No, we don't see Grace again. Two-Face becomes campier and campier, and especially in the new Batman Adventures, he does. Except for that episode where it kind of comes back and he does the other side, where he becomes good, but good in a bad way. So
yeah,
it takes time, but it comes full circle.
They decide. It's almost like, because it is a kids show, they had to decide which is going to be our compelling villain, and they leaned on Two-Face. I mean, they leaned on Mr. Freeze instead. In reality, it's like, he's just as.
Well, he's that, and the cool thing about him is he has that personal Batman has that personal attachment to Harvey.
Yeah, and we still see that come up, but
we do.
He's more bad guy with henchmen after this. There's no Grace. There's no. Yeah, I feel like they had to make their choices, but I would have loved to see much more of a continuation of this story whenever he pops up than just kind of he's the bad guy.
I would have too.
Almost Got Him. If you watch Almost Got Him right after this, you're gonna go, how did he get? He strapped him to a giant coin and flung him in the air. How did he get?
How did he get that? Yeah, it jumps.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but good episode though.
It is. I'm trying to just go through so many other points. No, that's it. We talked about it. We talked about the Dog Day Afternoon. We talked about the writers. Yeah, that's all I have for facts. So that's it.
That's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this as much as we did. Let us know in the comment section what your thoughts are on this Two-Face brand new origin story. There's no acid thrown in his face. He's not as campy as he was in his origin in the comic book. So let us know. We'll be back, Chris. Wait, before that, make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell. We also got a podcast. Hit that link. You can listen to us talk geek stuff. We have other reviews in the playlist. Check that out. We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok. And we'll be back. Same bad time.
Same bad channel. Post.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to Three Brothers and a Shot of Milk.